On today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast, a lot of March Madness. We had 2 rounds. We're in the Sweet 16. Jack and I are going to react to it all. Do a little preview, although we're saving most of it Thursday. A lot of fun, a lot of basketball. We'll see you guys soon.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
Welcome into episode 254 of the Views from Section 400 podcast. Today is March 24th, 2026. Jack, that was a whole lot of basketball.
It was awesome basketball. I mean, for anybody that's out there complaining about what we just saw, the Cinderella is dead, folks. Guys, relax. That was amazing. 4 days of basketball. We didn't have as many upsets as maybe we had in the past, but just great games up and down the board. This is the best weekend of the year, no doubt.
I can't argue with that. There was such good basketball. We did have some upsets. I think I texted and tweeted out Cinderella is dead to try to get the reverse drinks for that Iowa game, which we're going to talk about soon here. And it ended up working.
It worked.
Oh, man, I love Ben McCollum and Bennett Stirs. That story is so fun. But before we get to that, there was another 1-9 game I feel like I have to acknowledge here. Matt did a pretty good job eating crow when he took McNeese to get to the Final Four a couple years ago. Didn't work out. This year it's me, my St. Louis Billikens pick. It started off so well against Georgia. And, of course, we can't record because we have to wait, of course, for both games. And they run into Michigan. And I knew it, too, in the back of my mind. Matt and I, every bracketology we did for months was like, it's Michigan and it's Arizona. Those are the two best teams. And it's clearly the case. But St. Louis, they were in it, and they were so good, and they just ran into a great Michigan team, and it's so disappointing.
I mean, that's well said. I mean, I didn't have the faith in St. Louis that you did, that's for sure. But I was super impressed with them, the way they played that Georgia game, and we absolutely handled Georgia, who, I've said it. I didn't have a lot of faith in Georgia anyway. They're not a great SEC basketball program. But St. Louis looked awesome. I love the way they played, a little Spurs-esque. I'm not going to put them on the Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, Manu pedestal, but I really like the way they were playing team basketball, moving around in that Georgia game. They look great, but you're right. They ran into Michigan, and Michigan has been that dog all year. And honestly, Axel Lundenberg, Yumbenberg, yeah, you texted me saying that you hate him, and people hate the greats, man. That guy is a pro-ready basketball player still playing in college basketball. I mean, putting him compared to like Aiden Holloway, it's just like these guys don't even look like they're playing the same sport out here. It's crazy.
Yeah, Aiden Holloway's got other problems to deal with right now. We'll see if he gets an Alabama judge to bail him out for next weekend of games. But I think my hatred for Yaxel comes from he's a UAB guy. Auburn was thinking about recruiting him, and I guess they didn't give him enough NIL. And he kind of took it out of his way to murder Auburn in that Vegas tournament. And now I got to watch him in March.
He took it out, he took it amongst himself to murder Auburn and everybody else in that Vegas tournament. And now he's doing the same in this tournament. So maybe he's just a big time tournament player, but Michigan's still looking dominant. St. Louis, great team. Really got to tip the hat to them for a great season they had, but running into Michigan was tough.
Just brutal. And they were in that game for a long time, and they just that last Michigan run they just couldn't come back from. But even at half, it felt like I think it was Trey Green had his 3 blocked, and it would have been going down 6, getting the ball come out of half. Said it was 9, and it felt like if that goes in, maybe something changes because it was 54-50 in the second half. They were in it, and then they just ran out of steam. But yeah, shout out to Billikens. I think they're bringing most people back except Avila, which is very disappointing that his career has to end like that. But who knows? Maybe I'll be back on the train next year.
St. Louis, Robbie Avila's. I don't know what they're going to be next year. Are they going to go back to the Billikens? I don't think that really works.
No, they'll have some kind of gimmick I find for them. They do have Deion Brown come back, so maybe the Deion
something
Browns.
there.
Maybe they could figure out something there. But we did see one 9 seed knock off a 1 seed, and that was Iowa. Probably the one we would have least well, maybe Utah State would be a little more surprising if they managed it, but Florida came in, and they were Florida. They beat Prairie View by 55. Ironically, the second time a 1 seed is beaten a 16 by 55 in the history of March Madness. Also, the second time a 1 seed is beaten a 16 seed by 55 and then lost to a 9 seed in the next round.
Wow. One thing I got to say real quick is you said, you wouldn't have expected Iowa as the one to do it. That might be the case, but you would have expected that Florida was the shakier 1 seed, right? We had Matt and Will both on here last week saying that they thought Houston should have been the 1 seed in the South over Florida. So
they really were. They got the 2, but they're also playing the regional semi-regional final in Houston. So they're the benefactor 1.
Yeah. All right. Well, call it how you want to call it. But the reality is Florida was that 1 seed. We said, a couple guys on our show said that Houston should have been that 1. So Florida just being the shakier 1 seed, maybe you do see Iowa pulling that one off, but I got to give a lot of credit to that head coach. Was not familiar with his game and the absolute fire that he coaches with. Real Dan Hurley-esque kind of coach. So I'm riding with Iowa.
Yeah, Ben McCollum. He was at Drake for 1 year. He went to Drake after DeVries left to go to West Virginia. Now he's at Indiana. But DeVries kind of built up that program into a perennial NCAA tournament. And then they brought in Ben McCollum after he was a dynasty D2 coach. He brought in Sturz and a bunch of his guys from that D2 team, Northwest Missouri State. And now he's at Iowa, and he just led them to their first Sweet 16 since 1999 after Fred McCaffrey couldn't do it for 15 years. So, yeah, like you said, it's the next Dan Hurley. He just doesn't lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very impressive. Yeah, and that's what we see in March, man. We see the coaches come out. We really do. And Dan Hurley is, all these guys, Patino that we're always talking about, the new guys like Shire. Those are the guys that are still alive right now.
Yeah, and for all the people being doom and gloom about NIL and transfer portal, and it is a little bit of a problem. But on that last play of Iowa, Florida, the guy that caught the original inbounds pass, Bennett Sturz, started in D2. Then he played at Drake, a mid-major. Now he's at Iowa. He beat Boogie Fland, who transferred from an SEC school to another SEC school that just won the title. And then he passed it to a guy that went to Robert Morris, that's now in Iowa, who beat a guy that was a star at Princeton and then transferred to the defending national champion Florida team. So sometimes the little guys can still win.
The little guy can still win.
D2 to Drake to Robert Morris to beat the defending national champion. I mean, that's what March is all about.
Yeah, and look, not everyone was able to get it done the way Iowa did, but even the guys like Siena, who put up a great fight to Duke in the first round, you got to tip your hat to those guys. High Point, and I know people talk about High Point as basically a power team because of the budget they've got working with in the NIL money, but they're still a smaller school getting it done. It's a good story.
Yeah, it's a cool story. They play in a
one
palace
on their way to the first Sweet 16. It's great.
Yeah, Siena. Let's talk about Siena for a little bit because Duke has looked a little shaky, but for Siena to do what they did with essentially 5 guys, they played 6, but the 6th guy came in with like 20 seconds left in the game to just foul. I mean, John Shire said Gary McNamara outcoached him, and now Gary McNamara is going to Syracuse, where he played with Carmelo Anthony to coach Carmelo's son, Kyan. Kind of a wild thing there, but he might be able to outcoach Shire 2 times a year now.
Maybe I'll have to see it to believe it. To believe that Syracuse is back, the Big Orange is actually back in the college basketball landscape.
Yeah, I feel like if we would have had Siena win that game after Iowa won, the perception's kind of turned where underdogs are back, March is back, but it was looking a little bleak at the end of that Friday, early into Saturday. I feel like if Siena would have won, that would have made up for a lot of these kind of just ho-hum favorite win games we had.
Yeah, I mean, look, people always come out when the brackets come out and you see who's seated up against each other, what the matchups look like. People are always looking for who can make the upset, who can make the run, who's that low seed team to go. Like, the higher seeded teams are up there for a reason. They're good basketball teams. They're better basketball teams than some of the lower seeded. So for people that are like complaining about this, just be grateful when you do get an Iowa beating Florida. I mean, that's electrifying. But, you can't just be expecting this 10 times in a tournament.
Yeah, I think we got a little spoiled in like the late 2010s when we had the Princeton and St. Peter's and even FGCU and UMBC. It all kind of happened. So, and it doesn't happen. Like 16s don't win, 15s don't often win. But since it all happened in like a 5-year span, everyone expects it now.
Yeah. We're not blaming you. The Jack Golkeys of the world. We're not blaming you. We're not.
I think that's the new key to just have a Cinderella. You need a Jack Golke. That's your only chance now.
Oh, yes, 100. You need one player on your team who's an absolute flamethrower. The Bryce Browns, the Jared Harpers, and you need some good coaching behind them.
Yeah, even like I don't know, like Cal Baptist, the kid that Matt loved, he had a great game, and it just wasn't enough. You need like just the guy that can shoot from the parking lot. Like that Chase Johnston shot, probably the best shot of the tournament. It's going to be the best shot of the tournament to take down Wisconsin. Down 6, pulls up from half court.
What was that guy's name? Something Daniels?
DJ Daniels, I believe, on Cal Baptist.
What was it, DJ Daniels? Dominique Daniels?
I think it was DJ. I don't know how they ended up losing by 8, too. They were getting boat raced. Yeah, it was Dominique Daniels Jr.
Yeah, you need a flamethrower like that. I mean, he almost was able to do it. Acuff has done it 2 games in a row now.
Yeah, he has been special. And him going up against Arizona, I think that's going to be the game of the tournament.
That's what we wanted to see. Well, let's pump the brakes on that, Brian. We still got potential 1 seeds meeting in a potential Final Four matchup. Arizona, Michigan, that would be pretty sweet. That'd probably be my game of the tournament if we can get it.
Yeah, I don't know. That feels like more. I guess that'd be more pure, like good basketball. But Arizona and Arkansas are just going to be back and forth. Can Acuff keep up with Arizona?
Yeah. Should be 200 points scored. Almost 200 points scored.
Yeah, if I had to put, and we'll preview all these games as well as baseball. We got to do a baseball preview on Wednesday, which I'm sure you're excited for.
Woo!
But yeah, we'll preview this. If I had to put a score prediction out right now, I'll probably say like 105 to 91 Arizona, and Acuff drops like 42. Sound right? He has 60 points through 2 games, so I gotta imagine he's gonna up that.
He's gonna have to have 40 to keep up.
Yeah, that game. I mean, the no switch defense for Hawaii. I felt bad watching that against Darius Acuff in Arkansas.
I mean, another team you got to give a lot of credit to, but it's Darius Acuff, man. There's not too many players in college basketball you can put in front of him who can stop him. Especially for 40 straight minutes. I mean, he's that kid is special.
Yeah, a lot of fun. We're gonna have the 3 best. Well, maybe not the 3 best, but 3 of the 4 best players on the floor in that Arizona and Arkansas game are going to be freshmen, with Acuff on one side and then Pete, Braden Burries on the other side. I'm very excited for that game. And then in the East Regional, we're going to have a bunch of heavyweights too. Tom Izzo makes another Sweet 16. I almost doubted him too, but I was like, no, Tom Izzo's going to be in my Sweet 16. I'm happy I did it.
Yeah, I'm glad I got that East correct. I mean, not too hard, but 1, 2, 3, and 5. We get Pitino going up against Duke. The gritty Jersey boys against the freshmen of Duke, the uber talented freshmen of Duke, and then on the flip side of that region, we're getting Izzo up against Dan Hurley. I mean, this is just it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And we said it when they first released the bracket. This was, the coaches division, all the big name, big brand division. And it's coming to fruition, kind of how I wanted it to. I'm excited, man. I'm super pumped.
Yeah, It's kind of all, and St. John's has been electric. I mean, that game against Kansas was a lot of bad basketball, but with
Well,
a fun
at the
ending.
end, yeah.
And then Duke's been iffy with the injuries, and then of course this UConn team I still don't think is very good, but Dan Hurley's just finding a way. They are the 2025 New England Patriots. That's what we're doing, and it's just how far can they get to the championship like the Patriots did, and maybe they can.
I mean, let's pump the brakes on that real quick. You were very high on Donovan Denton, that UCLA team,
They
and
yeah.
now you're saying that this is they were a cakewalk for Dan Hurley and the
No, I
Huskies.
don't. I mean, they just keep finding ways to win. UConn could have very well lost to Furman. Furman played a really good game, and their center Terrence Reed just dropped 30 and 30 on Furman's head. With solo ball can't make a three right now. They have so many shooters that aren't shooting well. Caravan's still doing his thing, but it's really just Dan Hurley and UCLA. I thought they would be better. One of their front court guys has been out. I was hoping he'd come back. He did not, and that was depressing to watch.
Yeah, well, that East is looking really good. If you had to pick one team coming out of there right now, who's it going to be?
Honestly,
3, 2, 1.
it's hard to doubt your Jersey boys and Rick Pitino's Armani suits and that team. It feels like they haven't been to a Final Four since '85, and it feels like it's time. Let's get Pitino to a Final Four. Let's see the suit on the sideline at the Final Four at Indy. It feels right. It feels right.
My heart says, give me a Pitino and Izzo Elite Eight matchup, but my head's still going Duke. I mean, it's the same reason as it was before the tournament started. I've doubted them so many times this season, and they just keep on finding ways to win. Pretty sure they have the longest active win streak now, with High Point losing. I think I saw that. So, just very impressed with Duke, man, and they're just going to keep it rolling.
They're a really good basketball team. The Boozers are both playing very well right now. Isaiah Evans had a tough first game, but he bounced back against TCU. TCU fought hard, by the way. Shout out TCU. The Horned Frog.
Oh yeah. They played great in their first 2 games.
Jamie Dixon's such an underrated head coach. Pitt is probably every tournament just hating that they fired him, and they got to deal with their program right now. But yeah, Duke feels like, but I don't know. Something's telling me it's Pitino. It's St. John's. Zuby is on a mission, and I don't know. When you get those buzzer beaters like that, it feels like something's in the water.
Yeah. No, and it's going to be a great matchup, right? The people who are still doubting Duke, you got the gritty, experienced St. John's guys. They're going to be putting a lot of pressure on these young freshmen. Are they going to be able to handle it? I mean, that's been the narrative against Duke all year, and they've been able to handle it. That's just why I'm not going to doubt them now. But got to give Pitino a lot of credit. He's definitely brought St. John's back to glory.
Him and Hurley are keeping the Big East alive, it seems.
Yeah, and it's on life support.
Yeah, we'll see how long it takes before the Billikens and maybe Dayton make their way over to the Big East. Because the poor A-10 might go extinct, but the Big East might need it.
Yeah, I mean, after what they've been able to pull off this year, they'd comfortably slide in as the 3rd best Big East team for me.
A little shot at Matt's Villanova team there.
I mean, Nova didn't look that good.
No, they got MJ Collins. They were in that, and then MJ Collins happened. And Utah State deserved a tournament win. It had been a while, and they're always there, and they just can't get it done. I was proud of them.
I was actually impressed with the fight that they put on against Arizona after I called them a bad team for the majority of the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I like the Mountain West, and I know they're normally fraud, but it'll be interesting to see if we could.
I'm still not in on the Mountain West. You're not getting me there.
We could get an Auburn against New Mexico in the Final Four of the NIT. That'll be interesting.
Woohoo. Dude, Seattle gave us a tough time the other night.
And it was Auburn had it wrapped up, and then Seattle made a run at the end. It was never in question.
That's true, but they still made it way closer than it ever should have been.
Sure, but it's the NIT. I mean,
Yeah. No,
They
I
care
hear
more
you.
than
No,
Auburn
yeah,
does.
you're right. You're right.
That being said, I really want to win the NIT. I want a piece of NIT championship merch.
Yeah, whatever you get to.
All right. We'll stay in the A10 here, and I guess stay in the ACC. VCU, we got to talk about that. 19-point comeback, sixth largest in NCAA tournament history against UNC.
Yeah, I hate that it had to be UNC, but they just we knew they weren't going to make a run. So, you know what, VCU, good for you. The real ramification of this is Hubert Davis getting fired.
Is that a pun?
Oh, with the Rams? Huh.
Yeah.
I actually did that unintentionally, but no, I mean, for real though, is Hubert Davis gone after this? I mean, are they bringing in
Gotta
someone
be.
else?
He has that Final Four run that kind of is saving him right now, but he got to be gone. UNC should be a blue blood program that's in the Sweet 16 every year and challenging Duke for an ACC championship, whether it's in the tournament or the regular season. And the last couple of years, they haven't even really been close. Yeah, they beat Duke on a buzzer beater in the regular season, but the race for the ACC wasn't close. It's the same thing last year.
Yeah, I mean, and it definitely doesn't help when you lose your best player, but I mean,
He was
it's
there
not-
most
it's-
of the year.
He was there most of the year, and they've had other good players in the past too. Like with under Hubert Davis, I'm saying that they don't really compete with the Duke teams, like you're saying.
I mean, they had a guard that might win a national championship this year with Michigan. Just Elliot Cadeau.
Cadeau, yeah. And we know the story of who is it? RJ Davis. Who's the guy who went over? Caleb Love. That was the other one. That was the other one I was thinking of. So yeah, they've had some. He's had some guys to work with and hasn't been able to get it done.
No, and I mean it's a shame because UNC should be this team that's like the ACC. We talk about the Big East being down. The ACC is basically just Duke now. And yeah, Virginia was fun this year. Miami was fun this year, but neither of them made it to the Sweet 16. NC State didn't even make it out of the first four. It's been Duke carrying that league, and UNC is supposed to be right up there with Duke.
They are supposed to be right up there with Duke, and I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but Duke, Cooper Flag last year, Boozer this year. I mean, they're getting the best guy in college basketball. Think back just a couple years ago with like Zion, like RJ Barrett. They get the best guy in college basketball almost every year. Like they are
supposed to be trying to get that guy though and competing and sometimes
but
getting.
They're not. They're not getting that guy. They haven't.
But they have to be close to doing that, and they haven't. Like that's part of the job. You got to recruit that guy.
That's the thing, Brian. I don't know if they're on that level anymore.
And that's a problem.
Is that Hubert Davis's fault?
I think a little bit, yeah.
All right, he's got to go. We just figured it out for you, UNC. Pay us, not Bill.
I mean, I know Bobby Hurley didn't exactly have a great tenure at Arizona State, but he feels like a guy that's going to at least be a psychopath like his brother, and maybe you bring him into UNC and he can help take down Duke. I mean, he'll at least try to punch John Shire in the face twice a year.
Works for me.
Yeah, get Bobby Hurley on the phone, UNC. Hell, bring back MJ to coach. I'm sure he would do it.
No, he's got better things to do. He's coaching NASCAR teams.
That's true. And winning.
Yeah,
Terrence Hill Jr., I was proud to see him for VCU go off in this tournament. Didn't quite have enough to beat Illinois, who we'll get to. They've looked really good, but the A10 made me proud. 2 wins in the first 2 games they played. They made me proud.
Yeah. I mean, 2-1. I mean, you got to give them some credit.
All right, what else happened in this first couple of days? Oh, Texas, the Cinderella 11 seed Texas Longhorns that everyone is rooting for because they're an 11 seed in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, see, like this could have been Auburn.
Yeah, it could have been.
Texas
beat Ole Miss at home.
I'll give Texas some credit. They have been playing really well, but I shouldn't even say really well. They have been playing well enough to win some games, but NC State, Gonzaga, these were not teams that anyone was scared of.
Yeah, in that first, AJ Dubance did become the first the second freshman ever to score 30 points in his first ever tournament game with Steph Curry. He might have put up 50 on that Auburn Tigers defense.
Maybe.
Auburn does not know what defense is this year, which is
No.
very ridiculous because Stephen Pearl was the defensive coordinator, whatever that means, under his dad. And now they just can't play defense. But yeah, this felt like I feel like we all should have saw this coming with Texas because the draw was perfect. And there's always that 11 seed that makes the run.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say, though. The draw kind of was perfect for them. And yeah, DeBansta definitely gave him a run for their money as we expected him to, but that team was so bad around him, right? Like there's good player. There's a lot of good players in this tournament, but some of these guys have something to work with, right? Like Darius Acuff, we've talked so much about. We don't really talk about a whole lot of other guys in Arkansas, but that center they got, Trayvon or Trevor Brazil.
Yeah. Malik Thomas is another freshman that almost went to Auburn.
Is it Trevor or Trayvon? What? Trevon. It's Trevon. It's a mixture of both. Yeah. Trevon Brazil. He's looked incredible in the front court for him. So a lot of these teams have guys. There was nobody for BYU outside of DeBansta.
No. And maybe if they have Richie Saunders, they're the ones that make the Sweet 16 run, but they didn't. And now we got to deal with Luke Weaver, and I hate this Texas team.
They're not that good. I'm really not paying them much mind.
No, and they got to play Purdue next round. And I want to get ahead of this because I know I haven't checked our TikTok about Purdue, but I'm sure there's some angry Purdue fans about how we were saying they're going to get bounced early. And bounced early for Purdue isn't – I know they obviously have the loss to FDU and St. Peter's and North Texas, but Purdue makes it to the Sweet 16. This is the 7th time in 9 years they've made it to the Sweet 16 under Matt Painter. The issue is they've only been to the Final Four once in that span and the Elite Eight twice. So this is where they lose. And it feels like they should beat Texas, so maybe they'll get a third Elite Eight. And this Purdue team's good. I still am buying into this narrative that these three seniors are going to complete their career after losing in the first round their freshman year with a championship. I mean, it's possible, but this is what Purdue does. They make it to the Sweet 16 and then they lose. But they get to play Texas now.
Yeah, they should handle Texas. They really should. They should be able to handle Texas. The next matchup is the one where you go, all right, Purdue, you guys want to be, a real team? You guys want to be a Zach Edey-esque, we're actually here? Or are you just going to flounder out like we've been expecting them to? And I think that's really going to test it. Not this game against Texas, the next one.
Yeah, and to their credit, they haven't lost in, I guess it's coming up on a month now. They won the Big Ten tournament, and they look good. Like Miami was a big upset pick, at least in most brackets I've seen, and they rolled Miami.
Yeah.
If Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer has been great in this tournament. If he's making his threes, then Purdue could win it all. I'm not going to believe it.
Yeah, well, I mean, and those are the two guys that you like to talk. And Coffin Wren, he was the man. He was, I know, what was it, Fletcher Lawyer. He was hitting some shots in this past game against Miami, but the one that I was really focused on was Coffin Wren. He's a guy who looks like Yaxel Lundenberg, like a guy who looks like he's, pro body. He's manhandling dudes down the post. Old school game, got the post up, the good footwork, a little bit of a jump hook here and there. Was very impressed with the way he was scoring for Purdue at a time when it looked like they couldn't really get a whole lot going. Because I don't know, Braden Smith, he was, pull-up game was nice, but he looked like he was struggling to score the basketball at some points.
Yeah,
and even score the basketball, but even just looked like he was struggling to run the offense at certain points. It looked like if Coffin Wren wasn't going to work one-on-one, they weren't going to score.
The issue with Smith, and he is the all-time assist leader in college basketball history now. So, I mean, when I say he's a great facilitator, he is possibly the best facilitator ever in college basketball. But that's what he's great at, and that's what he does first. And it's always the scoring's been secondary. And can you win a March Madness championship with your best player not being the best scorer? That's his second best attribute. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Like I said, that offense was stagnant unless Coffin Wren was getting one-on-one buckets, and Miami wasn't able to put up with it, but you're telling me Arizona can't put up with that? We just talked about him.
Trey Kaufman run.
No, Trevor Brazil.
Oh, Trayvon.
Trevon Brazil. You're telling me if they end up beating Arizona and see Purdue in the Elite Eight, you're telling me he can't handle that? I bet he can. So I do have legitimate fear about Purdue in the next round, but they should be able to handle Texas.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. This feels like Arizona's region to lose unless Darius Acuff goes crazy. That feels like that's, like I said with the Illinois-Houston game, it feels like that's the regional final in a way, just because I feel like we both don't believe in Purdue at all.
Yeah. It's the same way I was saying before this tournament ever started. We might be getting the national championship with Arizona and Michigan in the Final Four, and then whoever makes it out on the left side between Florida, who else were we calling over there? Like Duke, Houston, whoever.
We could talk about Houston because Houston has looked really, really good.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Houston has just been a wagon. It felt like they could have beaten Idaho by 60 if they really wanted to. And then they 30-pieced Buckyball. Kingston Flemings has been unbelievable. Sanak continues to do his this team just – the more I'm watching them, the more I'm wishing, as much as I love Arizona, I kind of just for parity wish I would have picked Houston to win a championship this year.
Yeah, and man, we've been saying it. We want Kelvin Sampson to get one so bad. No, I like what you said about how they could have won that first round matchup by 60 because that's also what Kelvin Sampson is out there to do the right thing and win games and dominate games for sure. But he's not out there to embarrass people the way Todd Golden tried to embarrass Prairie View, beating them by 50 points or whatever. It's dude.
Yep.
Really? You're already not well liked, and then you go out and do something like that. There's a reason why nobody freaking likes you.
Yeah, I feel like we'll keep talking to Houston, but just to get a quick quip in on Todd Golden, him winning the championship kind of saved him in public perception because people were like, "Oh, look at us, he won. He's young. He's a young coach that just won a title." But at the end of this year, that Iowa game, he looked like a little baby back bitch.
Period.
I was happy to see it.
Yeah, me too. All right, back to Houston though. Now they've looked awesome. I don't know what the stat was, but first team to win their first 2-round games by 30+ points since X or ever maybe. So absolute domination by Kelvin Sampson and the Cougs to start this.
Yeah, it feels like Houston every year, and they've gotten better. Obviously, I mean they lost the championship game last year. They got pretty damn close, but they still they've been defense, and then just get enough scoring. This team's kind of offense, but they still have a very good defense. And that's kind of what you have to do in today's basketball. At Kingston Flemings, every time you shoot, we talk about Acuff, we talk about Braden Burries and Cam Boozer and all these great freshmen. Kingston Flemings, every time he shoots the ball, it's butter. I love watching that guy take a jump shot.
That's butter. No, yeah, I'm with you. It's like Acuff. It's just you think it's going to go in every time it leaves the hands.
Exactly. I really like this Houston team.
Yeah, it's hard not to. And I also like what you said about how, you really need to score the basketball and then play some defense on top of that in today's day and age. Because I really do think that's going to be the downfall of St. John's is, they are just this incredible defensive team. At times they struggle to score. So, you're absolutely right. You need to be able to score the basketball. And then even looking back to some of the prior Houston Kelvin Sampson teams, as of late, they struggled to score. And that was their one, downfall. The great defensive team, chemistry, hustle hard, all the intangibles are there, but just not able to put the ball in the bucket. And I think that's what they have this year.
It's crazy, too, because they've had NBA talent. They've had Quentin Grimes. They've had LJ Cryer. And they just haven't been these offensive juggernauts. But you put Kingston Flemings and Chris Sanak in there, and I guess that's all you need. You just need 2 really good freshmen instead of a really good senior.
Sometimes that is what it is, though. It's tough to rely on one guy night in and night out. I mean, that's ultimately why I decided to go with Arizona over Acuff and the Razorbacks is because it's Acuff and the Razorbacks, right? And we've been talking about Brazil and other people there, but it's him. And if he's off, I mean, they got no shot against Arizona. And that's what happens on these teams where you have that one all-star, that one scoring option. If he's not there, whether he doesn't show up for the night or he gets hurt, like UNC's Caleb Foster, is that what his name was?
Wilson. Foster's the hurt guard on Duke.
Right. Caleb Wilson or JT Toppin for Texas Tech. You look at those two teams, pretty good years, but you don't have your top dog, you get bounced.
Yeah, Tech, and I know Matt's not here to defend himself, but I just say Tech was struggling to end the season. And I forget my exact wording, but I said they didn't look that good. And it's like, oh no, they've looked fine. They've looked fine. They finished the season 4-4. So no, they weren't that good without Toppin.
Will was also back in that. So, Matt, this isn't just you taking flack.
Yeah. Well, they finished as a 500 team over the last 8 games. So maybe not everything I say is dumb. Houston does have to fight with Illinois, who's also been a wagon scoring the basketball. Dropped 100 on Penn. Really, I thought VCU had a chance against them, but they said Keaton Wagler is shooting 50%. They're shooting 50% as a team this tournament.
Yeah, they've impressed me. I did not expect them to come out like this, but they've absolutely impressed me. And I can't name a single guy on their team because it's all Europeans that I don't know.
Europeans and then another great freshman.
I don't know how to pronounce any of their names. Mirkovic, Ičičić, Deladovicic.
It's a lot of tall Europeans and then Keaton Wagler, which, I mean, to be fair, that's a lot of what we're seeing in these good teams now. Like Arizona, you have Krivas and then the 2 freshmen. Arkansas,
Texas
has
center.
the big guy, yeah.
Who's the other one?
Michigan, I guess Ade Mara wouldn't qualify there. But
No, Iowa State's got like Marko
Momoklovic.
Like,
like 45% from the field.
I thought Auburn was unique. We had Jovic this season. No, the freshman Serbian or whatever. It's like, no, other teams have 5 or 6 of these guys.
And they're all really good. A lot better than Phillip. I do love him, though.
I do love Phillip, and I hope he stays at Auburn for another year, doesn't transfer. But a program like Illinois could just build a super team from a couple FIBA professional teams, and next thing you know, they're going to be running college basketball.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game. Them in Houston, that whole region. It's the Houston Invitational, obviously in Houston with 3 Big Ten teams. Who would have thought? Big Ten 13-3 in the first two rounds of the tournament.
Yeah, the Big Ten, got to give them a lot of credit. They've absolutely showed up and shown out. And I know I just want to say something real quick, Brian. I don't know if you're going to remember this, but on our last show, I was saying, I think I was given some conference, maybe it was the Big East, some flack. And I was saying, they're no Big Ten or SEC. And you guys told me, don't leave out the Big 12. They've probably been the best in the entire country this year, best league in the country. But how about the Big Ten, man? 13-3, just incredible to start. And they, what is it? 6 of the 16 Sweet 16 teams.
6 of the 16.
I mean, that's dang near 150%, and that's impressive, man. That's very impressive.
Very impressive, but
I hate that it's not the SEC. I really do.
The SEC's up there. They had 12 wins the first. They were 12-6, I believe, but they didn't have the length. They just won a lot of first round games.
Yeah.
I guess they had Texas and Bama left. Is there any other SEC team left?
Tennessee.
Oh yeah, shout out Tennessee. You called that Tennessee run.
Yeah, buddy. Well, I called Tennessee beating Iowa State. So let's pump the brakes. Let's see if we get all the way there.
It will help. I mean, Jefferson for Iowa State, and they have looked about as dominant as Houston has. They absolutely killed Kentucky.
Yeah.
Funny quote too. I forget which player said it, but they were like, "Yeah, with Kentucky, we kind of know once you get ahead, they're gonna quit," and that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. Well, and I gotta watch what I say about Kentucky because I got some Kentucky fans in the house. But they did it to themselves. As you want to say Iowa State looked dominant. They did look really good. I will say it's not like they came out and just won this game. Like they were the dominant ones that no one could beat. It was Kentucky shooting themselves in the foot like Plaxico Burress about 10 times. What do they have, 19 turnovers or something like that? I mean, it was ridiculous.
20, I think it was a clean 20. And
I was hoping it didn't get all the way to 20. I was trying to stop it right at 19.
With these Kentucky teams, it's weird because, of course, they fired Cal, and now he's back in the Sweet 16, and they have Mark Pope. But Mark Pope's teams have they've just been a lot less juice than Cal. At least Cal would recruit like these high-level 5 stars, and he'd develop them into NBA talent. And, yeah, sometimes it wouldn't work out, but you could always kind of talk yourself into maybe Kentucky can make this run. And I know I kind of did this year with Oweh and Aberdeen. It was like, well, if they both can get hot, maybe. But it's just uninspired basketball.
Yeah.
And Kentucky shouldn't be losing. And I know I might piss off some of our Auburn people here, but they shouldn't be losing to Auburn almost every year. They shouldn't be losing to Texas. They shouldn't be losing to these other SEC, Oklahoma. They should be at the top of the SEC. They should be a
Tennessee,
3 to 5 seed.
None of them. Yeah. No, Kentucky is supposed to be the Duke of the SEC.
Yeah. Like when we beat Kentucky, it's supposed to be a huge deal, and it doesn't feel like that anymore.
Right? You remember being like a sophomore and being like, dude, we just beat Kentucky.
Yeah. And like that, obviously Auburn's gotten better since then, but this year, like I expected to beat Kentucky at home, and I was pissed that it came down to the end. Like that shouldn't be happening if you're Kentucky, and that's like is maybe Mark Pope. I know he's only been there a couple of years, but maybe a little bit of hot seat for Mark Pope.
And I think that's totally fair because of exactly what you said. Even though, Kentucky's been one and done no one ever really had the length and longevity there outside of Cal. But what Cal did year in and year out was bring in guys like Acuff, right? The Anthony Davis, the
John Wall,
Cat, the
John
Wall, the Devin Booker. I mean, all the insane talent that, think about. That's the other thing, though, is Cal's not there anymore. What if he still was? Would they have Acuff this year? What if Acuff was on that? What if Acuff was on that Kentucky team? What does the landscape look like? Are they a 4 seed? Are they winning the SEC tournament? All these things change, and that's why having a good coach is so important. But I mean, let's not act like Cal wasn't like getting a little tired towards the end of those days there.
He was. It's the grass isn't always greener.
For sure. It was for Cal, though.
It was for Cal, and I don't know if you saw Tyrese Halliburton's tweet after Kentucky lost, but he was trying to make fun of all his teammates that went to Kentucky, and he's like, yeah, I forgot they're all just Arkansas fans now. So that just shows you how in the toilet the Kentucky brand is, because they're all Cal fans. They don't care about Kentucky.
That's wow. I didn't really think that was a thing, right? I mean, but you look around the league at some other examples, Pitino and Louisville. I mean, their program's sort of gone downhill since his departure.
Villanova, Jay Wright.
Another great example.
UNC, Roy Williams. It happens.
UNC, Roy Williams. I mean, it takes a special John Shire to keep the Coach K legacy going. Yeah, that needs to be studied more. That's interesting.
Maybe you just need, like, people called John Shire the white Michael Jordan back in his high school days. He was that good. And then, of course, he wins a title with Duke. So maybe that's what you need. You need, like, the guy that's going to get you NBA ready. And he's going to – maybe you need – and that could be obvious to say, but you need kids to commit for the coach, not the school. Maybe the brand of blue bloods don't exist anymore. Like, UCLA has sucked forever. They're still considered a blue blood. Indiana didn't make the tournament again. People still consider them a blue blood. Maybe it's just it's crazy how different it is now.
You need the coach.
Yeah. Bruce Pearl would have been nice if he stayed. Speaking of great coaches, we can go over to region here. And I hate that I had to transition like that, but he is a great coach. It's Nate Oates over at Alabama. Third straight Sweet 16 appearance for him. Aiden Holloway, no problem.
Yeah, you want to talk about a New England Patriots schedule. that's Alabama. I mean,
Come
get beaten Hofstra by 20, and then you get a wobbling Texas Tech team get to beat them by 25. I mean, look, they absolutely shot the lights out of the gym. Got to give them some credit for that, but I'm not ready to sit here and give Nate Oates all this credit. No, it's not happening.
I will. 3 straight Sweet 16s is something to be said, and you can always lose those games. Bruce Pearl lost to Yale. It happens, and he didn't. Hofstra was a solid team, and he figured out a way to win. So I don't think Bama's good enough to beat Michigan. I think this spread's 8.5. I'll probably back that heavily, especially after seeing what Michigan did to St. Louis, who I still think St. Louis, if their matchup with Alabama, might be able to beat Alabama. But maybe that's just the blinders for St. Louis.
For Bama, honestly, Bama, to me, it's the same story it is every year. They can hit their threes or not. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not, and that's another reason why I'm not that impressed by Nate Oates is when your team operates like that, you can go out there and win 3 or 4 games in a row. I mean, Auburn did it and got to a Final Four with Jared Harper and Bryce Brown. But can you go all the way and be the best team in college basketball and win a national championship when your whole offense is chuck up as many threes as we possibly can? And no, unless you have Steph Curry on your team, no, it's not happening.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think he'll – it's tough to say because I can definitely see Nate Oates and Alabama winning a national championship. It won't be this year.
Definitely
But
not sure.
they will need some kind of presence inside. College basketball is shifting. Like, we're seeing it a lot in this tournament that teams are going inside now. We kind of see it in the NBA, like you're just chucking up threes. Now, college basketball, a lot of inside play. That's how St. Louis lost, because Michigan just kept going inside.
Yeah, I mean, some of these college basketball teams have 7-footers on. Like, the 18-year-old freshman, coming in is not going to be able to compete with that 7-footer there. Like, it's just not happening. So if you have one of those guys on your team, yeah, it's a mismatch 10 out of 10 times.
And that's kind of what Todd Golden, I think he really brought that system in. And last year, he tried to do it this year. He didn't have the guard play. But last year when he had the guys up front and then Walter Clayton just hitting everything, that's how he won a national championship.
Yeah, it's very effective. And that's honestly what lost Florida against Iowa, is not having the guard play. Nobody being able to step up on the outside.
God, I
Got my tongue tied there.
I love Bennett Stirs and Ben McCollum, dude. That Iowa team, I want them to do it. They're not going to win it all, but I want to see that team in the Final Four.
I'd love to see them go on a run.
They could beat Nebraska probably. We didn't really talk about Nebraska. Fred Hoiberg deserves his flowers. It's a fun story.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about it. There's nothing really that fun about Nebraska. They just win games.
Yeah, I mean, the end of that Nebraska game was really fun to watch. I think, maybe that's worth talking about. That was a pretty unbelievable last-second bucket that guy was able to put in. And then that Tanner kid on the other side Tyler Tanner for Vandy. I mean, that was so in and out. And everyone from the Nebraska head coach to, like, some of their star players that were on the interview panel afterwards, they were all like, yeah, I 100% thought that was it. And, I got really mad for a second. My heart skipped a beat. And, thank God it didn't. They were all just like, it was luck, man. And that's what some of these games come down to, right? You grind your butt off for 39 minutes and 59 seconds. And then out of nowhere, this last second shot, that's what decides it. Whoever has the ball in their hand last, it either rattles in or rattles. And that's what makes this March so special, man. It makes it all so special. Best event of the year.
Yeah, I'd probably put the odds at like -200 that Gordon Hayward reached out to Tanner after that. And was like, hey, dude, I've been there. It gets better, I promise.
Yeah, he seems like he's going to be a good player, too. He's got a good head on his shoulders.
That Vanderbilt team's a lot of fun. They brought over Byington from JMU. That JMU, they had Byington and Kirk Cincinnati coaching basketball and football. It's a shame they're the stepping stone and not just the power conference. It's like, But Vanderbilt's going to be a problem because Byington's a great head coach. They'll be back.
JMU is one of the most interesting places in
It really is.
in our sports, college sports landscape. right now, March in 2026, JMU has so many, what's the right word? Like fingers in all the different sports and coaching trees and
Yep.
winter championships. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like I forget the phenomenon. My brain's like still. I think both our brains are mushed from basketball, but
It's just a little school in Virginia. They got I-85 running straight through their campus. It's like
split right down the middle.
8-lane highway coming straight through the pharmacy and the business buildings. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? They're the ones who control college sports right now. It's insanity.
Absolute insanity. All right, what else happened in this region? We had Bama win, and they're going to play Michigan. We talked about that game, and then what's the other game on the bottom?
Tennessee, Iowa State.
Yeah, Tennessee, they've been good. Tennessee, when Rick Barnes doesn't have expectations, it seems like that's when things go well.
Yeah, when you don't have like an NBA All-Star and Dalton Connect on your team, that's when people like don't believe in you, or that's when you're going to be able to get it done. I guess, is their best player Nate Ament, or is it Jacoby Gillespie? I mean, who are you giving it to, Brian?
Gillespie when he's on the floor, and he's been able to stay on the floor for.
Yeah,
I mean, he probably poor Miami, Ohio fans had to be just crying watching him drop 30 points. It's really rough. Miami, Ohio, they were a fun story. I'm kind of happy they got humbled a bit. But yeah, I love Jacoby Gillespie. I wish he was an Auburn Tiger.
Yeah. Well, he's been good. Him, Ament, that center, I can never remember his name.
Or the other guy.
No, I like Akpara, but the other guy. Yeah, Estrella, the white guy too.
JP Estrella.
Yeah. He's healthy right now. I know he rolled his ankle at the end of the other game, but he played. He's healthy. I think they're deep. And it's going to be a great matchup with Iowa State. Iowa State's another deep team. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. I don't know, if I had to re-pick it right now, I don't know if I would still go with Tennessee, but 4.5 point spread, it should be a good one, man.
Yeah, it definitely helps that Jefferson's banged up for Iowa State. It helps in terms of Tennessee winning that game. It'll be fun.
Momklichovic.
He's such a beast, dude. I love that guy.
Yeah. He honestly, he like looks funny. He looks like he's like a rocker in like some band or something like that. And he's like, no, I'm a basketball player. All right.
Really damn good basketball player.
Yeah. Him, Lipsy. I mean, they've been good.
Lipsy's been there forever too.
No, but I've been impressed with both of those teams. And like we were saying earlier, Iowa State, I don't think they've really faced too much of a threat to this point. Kentucky, shooting themselves in the foot. So if anything, I think that might be the one thing I'm giving to Tennessee here. It's a little bit more battle tested, having to go against a pretty good Virginia team. And, Iowa State not really having to play much to this point. But I'm just not considering. Like, Kentucky could have been good, like you said, with Denzel Aberdeen and 0-0. Oway. Yeah, Otega Oway. I mean, they could have been good. They really could have been. But you can't have 20 freaking turnovers and consider yourself a good basketball team.
No. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a little bit of upsets, but still, yeah, there's some background noise going on.
A little bit of background noise from each trip in Kentucky.
Some upsets in these first 2 rounds, but overall, just makes for the chalk makes for a good Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, and National Championship. And it seems like we're going to get one. Maybe Iowa makes some noise, but
yeah,
it's going to be a fun next couple rounds.
Yeah, I mean, shout out the South for keeping it a little bit interesting.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting, and we'll have Matt back hopefully on Thursday's show to preview all of these games in depth. We'll give out a new Final Four, since I guess at least one of mine is gone. Is all of your Final Four? Yeah, all of your Final Four still intact.
I still have my Final Four intact. I've got 14 out of 16 in the Sweet 16 here. It's pretty solid.
Proud of you.
Thanks, Brian.
I think Matt's is still intact too because UConn got by UCLA.
Yeah, he had UConn. Houston, Arizona, and Michigan.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Freaking St. Louis. Well, I'll give out a new Final Four. I'll just probably put Michigan in there instead of St. Louis. But we'll do that, and then we'll have some baseball talk on Thursday as well. Season starts Wednesday night, so we'll be a game in by the time we do our baseball preview, which is very on brand for us up in the nosebleeds.
And at some point, we're going to have to find time to talk about this USA flag football match that they had with the NFL players. So we're going to have to find some time to talk about that.
Well, the, I guess, debut of La Mike of the Week is on Thursday as well. So we can talk some flag football during La Mike of the Week.
The LaMichael of the Week is back, baby.
All right. We will see all of you on Thursday.